Hello everybody. In this video, I will introduce a little more complex topic in Vue.js. I will be talking about the router and how we can handle different pages inside our application. I will explain a little bit what is the single page application, SPA, and how it actually works and what is the difference between multiple pages to a single page application. So let's get started. So as you can see in the screen, I'm already in my week3 folder. So let's create a new project. Let's do view, create, and I will call this project Marble Finder. I click enter, but instead of selecting the default and press it, I will call manually select feature. So I will move with the keyboard keystroke and just click enter. And from here, the only things that I will be enabling is when it says router. I will move to the router and then hit the spacebar to select it, and then I click enter. That's what this does mean, that we are going to install the router properties for Vue application in order to be able to use it. It will require, we need the history mode. Really important, let's say for now no. So let's put an N. I like my linter, let's say ESLint and printer. I click enter and linter save and enter in dedicated config files. I want to save this, I will say no. And my project will start creating. This project, different from the other one, is that actually we will install the router and we will explain a little bit how that actually works and how it's being handled in our application. So let's wait, get installed. And perfect. So we go to the Marble Finder folder and we open it with Visual Studio Code. So one way is being inside the folder and clicking code space that, so we open code from this specific directory. And then we maximize this. Let me open the source. And yes, I believe it has a really good size. Let's open now the terminal in this folder, but instead of going to the terminal that we had it before, let me actually show you. In the menu, we have terminal, new terminal, and it will open the terminal at the bottom, already in the specific folder that we want to be. Let me just, in this case, font size, console font size, let me increase it a little bit, probably 14. It's actually not increasing that. It's really weird. So let's leave it like that. Let me close it and open it again. Let me click terminal, size, terminal integrated font size. Here you go. It is 128, 16. Well, it's a little bit better. Perfect. Clear. So I'm doing this just to show you what the terminal is. So we can actually run yarn serve from here, and we will build our development environment and have the application ready. So let's actually open it, and it's opening another window. Let me just show you that one. So this is the Vue boilerplate, the main applications that we have there. We are a little bit different for the last time. We have a navigation on the top. So you can see we have this page, and we click about. We go to the about page, we click back to home, we go back to home. So we have like several pages. As you can see here, this found is very important, leave it there. But this is actually a route that we are getting. We are getting to home, and the about is getting to the about page. So we are handle the different routes here, depending on the route is what is showing. If I click this enter, it's going to be there. If I put about, send me to the about page. Pretty cool. But there is something different too. And the difference is, as you can see, the page doesn't flicker. What does that mean? That we are actually rendering the same page. And this is just a JavaScript element that is pretty much deleting the content and loading a new content on top of that without even leaving the page. There is something really cool about the console. So we do, for example, right click, inspect element, and we go to the network tab. The network tab will pretty much specify whenever we open a new page or not, or what is going to be handled through the application. So if I click home, click about several times, as you can see, the network tab is empty because it's not getting anything from our server, because these are reloaded through JavaScript in the application. Let me show you something new, for example, cnnet.com. And let me view, sorry, no. There's a spec element, I'll open the network tab. If we click a link, as you can see, we're getting the image, we're getting the different data, information, image, etc., etc. So we are going to the network, we bring a bunch of stuff, and then we go back and show it to the page. We click another section, it's pretty much doing the same. And doing the same, and doing the same. But our application is not doing it. And this is how the router is going to be handled. So let's actually work in this. Let me close that one, and let me go back to my application, and let me show you how it is. So we know that in the source directory, the application to view is wherever it get enter, and this is the main page. We have the styling at the bottom, but something really important, we have router links elements here. So we have the main div, and then we have another block with ID navigation. And then we have two router links that go to specific pages and have specific names. This is pretty much the magic that we are doing through the application in order to move from one to another. So how this router link actually works? We can see later that we have router view. So this could be like a main template, and wherever the site that we are going to be is going to be rendered inside the router view. Which one are our routers? Well, we go to the router.js, it's a new file, we open it, and we see they have a path home, using the component home. This component is getting imported from my views home directory, the home view file, and we have the about component that is getting imported from views about. So you go to views about, views, you see the home, they want to have the view logo and a bunch of stuff, and the about, this is the about page. And we can see here, we have the view logo with a bunch of stuff and the about page. So then we have two different components as view, and those ones are getting rendered inside our main application view in the router view section. This is pretty much how it works. Let me just create another here. Let me put a traditional home. This is a link, a traditional link, and let's create another one called going to about, traditional about. Let me save this and go to the application. Oh. stack active. Let's leave it like that. Sorry. So the command about that, the traditional one. The one for the vue-router. Go to traditional home. Look how the page works. Do you saw there? That little loading. Here it's not happening, but here is that how the page flickers. You go to the about, it flickers too, because those are traditional links. Those are the ones that make the page flicker, make a call to the server to render something specific. That way the benefit of the router views doesn't flicker, it doesn't go on call the network. So that's actually a single page application. It's called like that because this logic, in order to substitute what is supposed to be showing or not, it happens in JavaScript. And at the end, to the client, we just have a simple traditional index HTML file. That's it. That's the only thing that we have. So let's actually start working on this application. Let's do some changes and then remove the 5 icons. I don't like it. Let's change the name to Marble Finder. We remove the 5 icon from here. To my folders, we have the logo. Let's remove the logo. My components, we have the hello world component. Let's remove that one. Let's remove the about page. We don't need it. We're gonna put another one there later. For the home page, we just router. Let's remove the about section just to clean it up. This one, just put just the router view. Let's remove the styling. I don't need the styling. And the home, I remove the component, it doesn't exist anymore. Let me remove the import. And let's actually remove those. Let me remove the class, I don't need it anymore. And actually let me remove everything, just put a simple h1 thing, hello there. You will save it without the server is still running. So if we go to see the application, that's actually where, here you go. You go to localhost, hello there. So it's working. So this is a really good moment to save our application and commit it in this stage, because we just did the cleanup that we needed for starting. So let's actually do that. In order to do the cleanup, in order to do the commit, there's two ways. Let me cancel this and let's actually talk about some commands. There is a new command called git status. This one will show you in which branch you are and so what is the status of your current application. It says, okay, you have changes that have no stages for commit. You need to add them or remove them depending whatever you need, and then or check out a specific file in order to discard completely. So we made a bunch of changes. We deleted the 5 icon, we modified the index HTML, etc, etc. We did a lot of stuff there. So we need to add those files to staging. So we do that. So we do git add dot. That means add everything. You can do that dash all, I believe. That works too. Well, for shorthand, the dot is fine. If we do that and click git status, without the status changes a little bit. Change to be committed. That means that those saved changes are already staged, ready to be committed. So then when you make a commit, you need to stage a file, and then after you stage, you commit that file. What we're doing. Let me just do git remove everything. Oh, it didn't work. Remove all. Didn't like it. Oh, I cannot do all. Let's do git remove, let's say, the index one. So copy paste and do git status. Wow, well, this sucks. It's not doing it. Well, we added there. There is another way to stage those files, not only this way. Visual Studio Code have git enabled, and it actually go and read what you already have in your git repository. And it's have it right here, source control. If we go there, we see the different staged elements. Let me just click the unstage everything, and everything just change it there. If we do a git status, we see that nothing is staged. Here it will describe us, okay, this file was deleted, this file was modified, this file was modified, this file was deleted, etc, etc. If we click one of the modified files, we see actually what is changed. Change the title and we remove the file icon there. For the router, we remove the about section. We leave it like that, etc, etc. So for add a file to a stage, so we can hover over the file and click the plus button, and that file is going to be saved to a stage. So I already staged two changes. If I do a git status, and we see that those two files have been staged and ready to be committed, and the rest is still on stage. So let's add all the files. One way is hover over this section, click the plus button, and this will add everything. If I do a git status again, we see everything is ready to be committed. There is two ways to commit. We can commit through here, and it tell me my command enter to commit, or I can click this little check mark. So I can do something like clean files, because just do not clean up. And we can click this one to commit, and boom, changes have been committed. If we do git status, we are already in branch master and nothing needs to be committed. Perfect. Let's do git log. And git log by default will give us the different commits that we have been applied. We have the init commit and we have the clean files commit. This is the one that we just created. So let me close everything. Let me get this a little bit down. In order to exit from here, just click Q, and that's it. And we see that actually the files have been changed, and it's not showing any other change that needs to happen there. Perfect, this is pretty much what we need. Let's start working with some components and adding some information there. So far, what we have been doing is we create basic HTML element, and those elements change a little bit in order to have it ready for the what can I say, ready to be better looking components. So we remember the list element, we just had some padding there and white background, we put the text in the middle, stuff like that, where you make the application look a little bit better. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to use a library or a framework that will help us to do that for us. What it does pretty much is taking those already composed components that you can just call and make it work for your application. Let's actually use those ones, and not the ones that we've been using during the semester. So I will say, let's open a new um, a new tab in your browser, and let's go to beautifyjs.com. So what it is a bunch of material design component framework building build it on top of Vue. And we can have several elements that we can actually apply and have it ready for us. It's going to get started button. We will see actually how to do it, how to add it. So we just need to add Beautify and then start making installation for us, depending how we need it. So let's actually do it. Let me copy this. I'm already in my terminal, so just paste it, go enter. It's going to get download Beautify, be added, and the pretty cool thing is going to be configured for us, so it's a little bit easier. I like to go to the advanced configuration. Let's click it. I will say yes. I want to use the pre-made template. Custom theme, I will say yes. Custom properties, I like to have it there. I know what use it, but I like to have the option. Welcome icons, so you can actually move it with your keyboard. And material design icons are a really good collection. So let's actually select those. Select fonts of dependencies, I will say no. That means that's going to be downloaded from the internet for the users. Use a la carte, I will say yes. What happened here is that Beautify is too big, so in order to have the build size smaller, it's just going to be deployed just the component that you use instead of deploying everything. I will explain that later. So let's say just yes. Language is going to be English, enter, and it's going to be installed. So we just wait to be installed. As we can see, it's added a bunch of files, added a bunch of stuff in there. So let's actually use yarn serve and see what it did for us. It's building our development environment, and when it's ready, let's refresh our site, and we see something here. We see some kind of toolbar, we have some kind of button to the right, and a different icon, welcome to Beautify. So we have this element already installed. Perfect. Let's actually work with this one, and let's do what we need to do over here. So let's make some changes. Going back to the application, we see that we have a bunch of files that have been changed, and Beautify have been installed, the index have been added, the fonts that we need to have, and there's a new logo, we will apply it there. The hello world was we reverted back with a bunch of information. A Beautify.js file have been created for us, and different stuff. So let's actually stage everything, and then I will say install it, Beautify, and install it, Beautify. There you go. And we commit it. I commit it with command enter, or you can commit it with every arrow, and that's it. And now what I'm going to be doing is doing some kind of cleanup. So let's go into the application. I see that we have some kind of app bar in there, toolbar title, spacer, button. These are like new tags that we don't know anything about. So let's try to see what they are, what actually how they work. So in Beautify, you go to the UI components. Let's actually go to the bars, and there's one called app bars. App bar is pretty much a component used for application-wide action and information. And this is an example. As you can see, it is already laid out. It has some buttons in there. we have a title and different functionality. This app bar, we have it. These are the properties, the props that we can use. I'll actually put it there. And I give you different examples. So for example, this is a app bar that is fixed on the top. The traditional one, when you scroll this one, you see the app bar get shrinked. You scroll this one, you see that the image get like shrinked too. You can have like a this image in the bottom. When you scroll, you see that the app bar get hide, but when you're near, you show again. This one, the app bar go to the left when you scroll, and different components. So this actually different way to handle the application bar. And in order to see how anything of this has been done, you need to click the view source, and you will see pretty much the components that have been used to create this kind of thing. So for now, I would like it is, I want to remove this content first. Let's leave the bar, I like the bar. But let's remove the content. And the content, we see there is a component, there's a component section and router view there. So what is how is the bar is going to be always on top, and depending on router, it's going to be handle different views, and those views is going to be rendered inside the router view. Okay, so let me go to home. Beside the home, we actually imported the hello world. Let me remove that, I don't want it. And let me just put my traditional H1 hello there. Go to my application, my hello is there, it's working. And we can get rid of my component, and we can get rid of the logo. Now it's still working. I like it. Let's do some changes here. So how actually Verify works, you have those custom components already created for you, and you can actually deploy. Verify, we need to have always a root component called vApp. It's going to be the Verify application. And from there you can actually put the different components that you become really using. In this case we have the app bar using a toolbar title, and then we have the content, and this pretty much we're going to be showing everything. Well, we have a content because the content what it does is like getting the bar sizing, that way it's able to render just below the app bar. So let's work with the colors. So let's see where we can change something about colors. We can search for colors, and we'll explain what it does. There's two ways to call color. When you put the class of that specific color, or you put dash that text in order to change the text color size in your element. And it gives you like different sizing, different elements, and then we have some predefined colors called red lighting 4, pink lighting 1, teal lighting 3, teal darken 3. We have a bunch of colors already predefined in our application, or we can use the hexadecimal code as we already know. What I want to do, I want to change this to green, because I want it green, that's it. So I know that's actually my app bar, so probably I can have here my class equal green. If we do that, yeah, it's pretty much doing it, but I don't like that green that much, how I was thinking. So we can actually have, let's see, look for green, there you go. Probably this green is a little better, darken too. So let me just copy this. And my class is going to be green and a darken too. So I'm adding two different classes. I'll save those and get a better color. Perfect. Now I want this to be white in order to be able to read it better. So there's two ways. We can say that this element is a dark element. I'm going to do every child I have, it will hereby the white color, is what I need. But instead of calling beautify material design, I will call my application Marble Finder. Save it. There you go, my Marble Finder. I keep it like that. I like this little more bold to this part. I think it looks pretty cool. And I don't need this button, so this button can be deleted. The spacer can be deleted too. So if I delete that, perfect, our application is almost ready. Now well, we have a long way to go, but I like this a little bit better. And let's see what else we can do. So I believe for the toolbar is pretty much everything that we can do. Yes. Let me go to my home view. I'm still going this showing the hello there. Actually, let's go back to my application. My content is too white. Let me just let's put like a darker application. Let's put like some kind of gray. This is really dark. Let's put this one. Let's see what happens. So my big content is going to be class equal gray darken tree. Yes, I like it. Of course, this needs to be white. If we use the dark element, let's see if the dark element works here. No, the dark prop doesn't work in this in content. So what we just need to do is put y dash text. So everything that is a child, by default, we have the text white. Perfect. Looking better. Now let's look for container. Let's look for layout. Let's see, big container. If we don't find anything, we can always use the GUI components. Everything is actually great. Here you go. So we have a container section, and that container have a row and columns inside. So it's what we need to use it. So container can have an ID, the tag, the row can be aligned to different elements. The column, specify how many columns do we want. Okay. So let's actually do this. Go to the home. So instead of doing the hello world, go to the big container. Inside that we have the view row, and inside that we have the big call. And then we can put the hello there. So we put it like in a container, in a row, in a column, and it's a little bit more here. I like that. That means we do like calls equals, for example, 6, and the same row we just copy over another column 6, and the same inside row. We can see that this is actually getting exact middle. The component called Beautify have is actually 12 columns. So we're specifying how many columns we have a specific column to use. In this case, we are using 6. Let's just remove this and keep it like the basic one. So hello there, and let's look at it very cool. I would like to have some kind of footer, so let's actually see if we can apply a footer. Yes, we have footers here. This is the basic one, a simple vue footer. Let me see the source. Yes, it's just a footer with some text in there. Let me just copy this exactly like it is. And my footer, I want it to be in the whole application. So I will do it after the content, so the router view. This means that my bar and my footers are always there, and the only element changing is the router view that we're going to be calling. So if I save this, let's see how it looks. Yeah, I like it, but it's too gray. So probably we can actually use the same color as the toolbar. To do this, we can actually use this. Oh, no. Oops, I'm doing. Let me use revert back, yes. And my footer class, I will add green darken to a lot better. And let's add the white text too. Perfect. We have the date and footer and the content. And I like actually how it's looking. So something really important, how we get the full year, we did it with JavaScript. So this is actually just to get the new date and get just the year. It's a JavaScript property, and that way we're able to pull up 2019. If you want to hard code it, you just need to remove the bracket and put something here, and it's going to be changing to that. But for now, I like how the date is displayed. So perfect. And I believe this is a good point to save our application. So I go back to check my staging. So stage everything from main layout and stage that. Oh, I didn't stage everything. Let me do it again. Main layout. There you go. Perfect. So after we have that committed, now we can continue to application. And let me actually explain what we are building. We are building a Marble database search engine. So what I want to have is like a somehow of text fields here. When you enter, it shows the different Marble characters. And when you click on those, you will see the information on that specific character. That's everything that I need to have. So for that, let's actually build the element how I wanted to see it. So instead of having the hello there, what I want to have is a text field. And we have the regular text field. We have several types. And we look at this, we can see like different elements how to got built. But for now, I just want to have the traditional text field. So I just copy this one, and instead of going to my home view, instead of my hello there, I will paste it, save, put that look. Okay, it's there. It's a little purple or pink, but it's actually there. You know what? I don't like it that much. Let me say that it's a dark component. Okay, I like it a little bit better. But it looks like too plain for me. So probably we could change it a little bit. Probably can use the aligned one. Yeah, probably this a little bit better. So we see the props, we see the different sections that we can enable. It has the dark in there, that's why we put it. But let's actually look for outline, sorry. Outline, it applies the outline style. So it is a boolean, so it's equal to just true. By default it's false, so that means we just copy this text and put it here. That's it, save it. Okay, now this start looking better. Well, let me change this to instead of like regular, let's search marble character. Perfect. Look a lot better. Then after this, I want to give me like some kind of title. So probably this is using the full long column. So let's actually have another row. So this is going to be always after this element. In this row, I just want a traditional H1 that could say showing all characters. Let's say something like this. Okay, yeah, looks nice. And from that, we can have another row. Oh. And then we can have a big column. And here, let's look for image pixel. Loading pixel photos. Yeah. So let's just copy this. What is going to give us like a traditional image. So let me just select this section. And let's actually put an image element. Let's see. I believe beautiful have an image element. Image. Perfect. This will be image. And those images have a property of contain. That means it will always show the full image size independent that we wanted. So let's see actually the contain one. It is one. Oh, pixel photos got already taken one. So let's actually copy this line, put it here, but I will remove the aspect ratio. I don't want to have that. I just have the aspect ratio of the original image. So we have it like this. Okay, it's getting really big. So we can limit that probably doing those holes equal, I don't know, 3. Perfect. And we can actually start doing some kind of before, because I want the image to be repetitive. So let's do before and in, I don't know, 20. And remember that we need to bind the key to something, so in this case it's going to be n. That means it's going to count 1 to 20, and it saved that n there. I just put it there. So if I do this, it will repeat the image 20 times. Cool. I like it. So actually, I believe what we can have here it can have some kind of title. So probably can have image title. Yes, you have the image title and then the image, and that looks good. Yeah, what I want to do is I want to put something here, searching, let's say for example captain, click enter. I want this to change to showing captain character, so results, and showing just the Captain America or whatever captain we have in Marvel. So let's use that. So we have the main layout ready. Now we need to make this clickable and open a specific del file. Yes, let's do that. Let's do a router link, and let's move the last section to after image. And this actually router link. That means that it's not working. Let me see. Let me actually put something there. Okay, you can see that now if we hover over, it is actually a link to do something. I don't like this to be pink, so let me just put class equal white text into dash. Perfect. Text decoration. I don't like that text decoration. What we can do? Can we change this to be button? Let's see what happened there. Sorry. Yeah, no, the button screw up everything. So let's just go back to my router link. Perfect. And let's make it you know what? Let's just make this title a router link. I don't want to click the image, so you want to click the title. Oh, I didn't like it. Oh, it's put 2 equals somewhere, so let's put like 2 route. There you go. I like it. So I want this to be clicked and we sending it to somewhere else. So let's actually add a dynamic component here. So what I want to go is to this is going to be sending me this is an object to going to name detail. So let's do character, yes, character. And params, and say that we're going to be sending the ID. In this case is going to be end. We hover over, it's not doing what it's supposed to. Let me check with my notes. Oh, we need to bind it because this is going to be dynamic. Okay, but this doesn't exist. Let's just create it. Let's create in the views a new file called characters.vue, and this one will have a simple template. Oh my god, template. And it will, for now, let's put a traditional h1 hello there. And in my router, I need to define that. So let me actually import it. Character from views character. And let me just copy all this. And going to be Let's actually put ID here. It's going to be character called character. This is going to be the name, and this is going to be the component. And this is dynamic. When you put the columns inside the path, that means that's dynamic. So we can actually go back to my home, and my parameter is going to be actually an object, and we'll see the ID is going to be n. What does mean? Hover over, you can see they have /2, /3, /6. So it's sending me to the ID of the specific image. That's what I wanted. If I click the image, it sends me to my hello there. Perfect. And this one, so I go back. I don't like to go back like this because, yeah, I don't like it. So let me actually put a button in there. I can go back to my character, and from here let's do a simple the container, the row, and let's do a big column. Actually, just leave it just a row, I believe. No, let's do the column. The column. And in here we have the button. Turn. You see that actually handle it? Yes, perfect. So I want to add an icon here, so let me actually put inside my button. In the content I want to put an icon in there. So we'll put a V icon. And let me specify the icon going to be because we are using material design icons, so all the icons start with MDI and then the name. So I know that there is one called arrow dash left. Is that one that I need? And this icon is going to be to the left because perfect. I say, well, where I get this? Well, I already know those one. So if I look for material design icons, material design icons website.com, there's a bunch of icons that we can select. All of them need to start with the MD prefix. So there's a bunch of them in here. So in order to make life easy, you can actually look for arrow, or you can look for left, and this one they want to add arrow left. So I know that that one already exists. So what I did just MDI arrow left, and it's the icon that is rendered. If I select, like, for example, this is transfer left, let's do still icon to arrow transfer. My icon is like this, and actually I like that. Let's leave it like that. This V button, the V button could have the functionality as a router, so let's put it like button send me to there. So actually go back. Whoa. Didn't like it. Why didn't like it? There you go. So select this one, I can select another one, and this will send back. Perfect. So after we have that button, we can generate another row, so it needs to be after that. And we can have another column, and this one I want to be equals something really big, say 4 for example, and let me just copy the image that because I want the columns to have the image there. So yes, I want the image there. Perfect. But let's do a little bigger. We do 6. Oh god, we have to define the sizing here. So let's say something really big. There you go. Well, we have to call equals 6. It's not doing what it's supposed to. Why? Oh, because I have another column probably. Oh, because this is a column in singular, not plural. There you go. So 6, it takes how does it space? Probably it's too much. Let's do a 4. Okay, this looks a little bit better. So what I wanted here is another column without the image. So we'll take the rest of the space and it will have h1 character name. We have a text, we have character info here, and I will just put like use a bunch of text. So what I did is type lorem tab and that generate like a random text to put it there. And I have a list I want to here. I want to show appears in these comics, and I want to have like a list with 1, 2, 3. Leave it like that. Yeah, I like it. So we already have the layout. The layout is going to be, we have a bunch of characters. We can look for those here. If we select one, it will open that character image, we see the name, look out bio, and it shows us where it actually appears. So this is what we are going to be building. We have this section. Now we need to attach it to a database, and that's going to be the cool part. So how we do that? We're going to consume a REST API. A REST API is a RESTful API. It's a way to consume information from a database for a web service. And that web service will bring you that information in the form of JSON. And as we get that information in the form of JSON, we can actually consume it somehow. So in the last video, when we did the vue-to-do, we generate some completed and pending subjects there. We did some arrays with JSON information in the site. That's pretty much what we're going to be doing. We're going to consume an API that will give us the information. And what is going to be the best way? Well, Marvel already gives us that to us. So we go to developer.marvel.com. So we have an API for that. So we can actually, you will need to create an account. So I'm already logging in, but you are not. You just go there and let me actually log out and sign in. And after, I join. After join, you fill out your information and it will send you an email. You need to approve the email, go back, and you will have your account. Is after joining in or signing in, send you to a different page, and you just need to actually just go manually to developers.marvel.com again. Oh, developer. There you go. So the first thing that you will need to have is your key. In order to get the key, we go to getting started. Oh, if this happens, just click again. Okay, if this happens, just refresh again. And get a new AP key. This will give you a public key and a secret key. It's really important to leave that secret for you, especially the secret key. The public doesn't matter that much. I will be hiding that information, so it's not showing in the video, but it's something you need to be aware of. So just copy the public key from there. It is actually still happening. We'll go back to developer, marble.com, and just try again, because this site getting really usage. Sometimes it fails to show in the information that you need. So let me actually go get it started again. Get my API key, and there you go. This is my API key. This is the one that I need to be saving it, right? Another thing is that we need to list or authorize referrals. You need to specify add a new referral and add your local host in order to be able to develop. Another one that we need to enter actually is going to be your site. In my case, it's going to be roll4roman.site. Enter. And that's it. So I have those already there. So I will just copy my public key and keep it in a particular file and where I will use it. So let's go to entity types to see what we can handle. We can handle different kind of resources. So we have the character resources, we have the comics one, and we have the creators, we have the events, we have series, we have a bunch of stuff, right? But let's just focus in characters. So when you call the character, you have an ID, you have the name, you have the description, and you will have URLs, thumbnail, the image, what we needed, and where is the comic that actually this character appears. So we are going to be using this one, this one, this one, and this one. Well, and the ID. We always use the ID. So let's start making those calls. How we do that? Well, we need to call getWithMarble.com version 1 public / characters. Let's actually start typing that. So how we do a HTTP request? In order to do an HTTP request, we're going to be using a library called Axios. Oh, not the website, Axios npm. Let me do it like that. Perfect. And promise-based HTTP client for the browser and Node.js. This is what it does. Is pretty much you how to use and get a specific resource. So let's get started. We need to add it to the library, and then we need to import it and do something with that. So let's just add the library. We have the yarn command in here, so just copy this, and in my directory, let me just console this. I will add it, enter, to add another one, and go to package.json. We have dependencies there, we have the Axios node there. So these are the dependencies that will be installed. You will see there is a bunch of those. Vue actually came out with the most of them. So the ones that we added Beautify, and we added the Axios one. So let's use the Axios. So in the plugin section, I like to have it my Axios here. So I will create an Axios Marble. Let's call Marble service.js. and this will be calling our service by itself. So let's import it. Import Axios from Axios, right? And then let's export default Marvel service equal Axios create, and let's look for the documentation. You can create, here you go, Axios create, and we can have the base URL is what we need. So let me actually copy this section. Just paste it here. Let me remove the extra Axios, and delete those two because I don't need those. Export default Marvel service, Marvel service. We see that it's not defined. Let's actually do const Marvel service equal Axios.create. And we have, and then at the end we will export default Marvel service. Perfect. So we are our Marvel service. We're going to have a base URL. You will see what I'm doing here. We're just pointing, to our documentation. We're just pointing to this section. And this should be in quote. There you go. And that's it. I believe with this is what we need for now. Let me just check my notes. Yes, this is what we need. Perfect. So let me close this. Let me close this. And let me close this. And let's go to the home. So we have different components that we need to be doing. So we will playing around with a traditional before. So let's actually have name character list, let's put it like that, and let's have a vdata until we return something. So I want to have characters, and it's going to be an empty array, right? So what I want to be here, instead of doing n, it will be character in characters, where my character.id is going to be my key. And this one is the image title is going to be character.name. We know that because we saw that here. ID, name, and we have the thumbnail. The thumbnail is going to be really tricky. So we need to bind this now, and I'm going to be, and I have it already saved. Let me check. Like this. It's going to be contained. The source is going to be dynamic, so that's what we are binding. It's going to be thumbnail path, and we need to add the extensions. Why they have it like that? Because they designed it like that. So we save those, and we go to the list. Oh, I need to run it. Yarn serve. Perfect. We refresh. My character list is empty. Why? Because character doesn't exist. So I believe we're okay with that. So we can actually have some fake characters in there. So let me actually put someone like ID1, name, going to be just put something, a random hero. Let's put Rodolfo. And let's put thumbnail. And we have two elements, the path. Let's say loaded pixel, we have this one. Yeah, let's do this one. The path is going to be like this. And in this particular case, extension is not needed because this handles that for us. So if we have that, we should be able to see Rodolfo in there. Perfect. Why did I like it? I don't know why the image did not show it. It's weird. Let me just inspect my element. My content, my console, what it says. Image load fail. How do you like it? Oh, we are in the dot. So let's actually, we can do this JPG. So we are in this dot. No. So how is actually this one called Pixel Photos? So let's remove this section. This should work. Invalid. Oh, JPG. Simple typo. Refresh. Perfect. That is there. And let's create another one. So let me just copy this. And let's put format, another ID, and let's save it. So we have, okay, it's working, it's doing what it's supposed to. Perfect. So this representation of the character, depending on what we have, and this is the JSON format that we're going to be needed. So let's remove all this and let's do dynamically to get it from Marvel. So how we do that? Let's do something with this method that's called created. It's a function. So when this component get created, we're telling them, okay, you need to do something. And what is going to be that something? Well, first we need to import the Marvel service. So let's import Marvel service from, and really cool about Vue.js, you can have the form from the add is coming from the source, so we can do add plugins / Marvel service.javascript. So we can actually, create it. We can do Marvel service.get and do something about it. Remember that we save our APK? Well, it's a really good place to have it there. So this is my APK. So what I will do with my, then it's going to be, I will get my characters. Actually, I'm going to do it like that. And this will wait to happen. Two things, then and catch. Catch, we're saying you catch an error, console.log that error, and you have the response. You're going to say it. This dot characters is going to be equal, and just in this particular case, my response dot results, because I already know the information. So we have a data element that's being returned by it Axios. That one marbled another child called data2, and then the results. So it's what we needed. So we send it all the results to the characters, and that should be enough. Let's see. It's not working. Let's expect element. Failed. Oh, the request failed. We are not sending the AP key. So we need to send it like this. I will send my parameters, my AP key. Inside the two eyes, the mustache bracket. So I save it. And start looking some guys in there. Perfect. Probably goes a little bit bigger than I imagined. So instead of doing sizing 3, probably can use sizing 2. Perfect. Have a better layout. So now we are ready information for Marvel. This is pretty cool. Yes. Excellent. Now we need to do something else. Let's change the value of the character. Let's have another user character going to be empty. And let's bind, as we already know, the model search character. And let's do an event. So let's do when something happens, when this change, I want to do something. Search. Let's call this search. Search character. Let's call it as a function because what it is. And we are going to create a method. So we have a method, and we will look for my search characters console dot log this dot search. Let's see if that actually works. So let me open my inspect elements. I will open my console. A couple of errors that we need to see. Oh, and doesn't exist. Here, my ID is not end anymore. My ID is my character ID. We save it. We refresh. Excellent, no errors. So if I type something, click enter, that's going to be sent there. If I change it to something else getting there. So I'm able, with a simple enter, get that information. Cool. So we know that we can actually look for master character. Perfect. So let's do something particular. Let's look for an if statement. This dot search dot length is bigger than 0. So we're going to make the call doing something else. We're doing something else. So we do a conf response. We need pretty much to call this again. So we do conf response. We're going to let's do some asynchronous. So this is going to be a synchronous function. And instead of doing the 10, we're doing the asynchronous section. And the functionality is similar but a little bit cleaner. I will show you. So let's say response is going to be equal to a wait to do something. So my marble service.get, pretty much this one, right? And then I want to say this section. This character is going to be equal my response.data.data.results. But if my search length is bigger than 0, there is a property that we can use. And we can have name starts with that particular character. And this came from the documentation. Let me show you. So we can actually go to interactive documentation. With the character sections, we can look for name starts with parameter. So the characters with name to begin with specific field. So when we do that, in theory, we click here, I don't know, spider, enter. It's not doing it. This is something wrong. Oh, this model doesn't work. Yes, I'm not using this, I'm using my marble service. Sorry for that. So if I do spider, enter, it looks for my spider. Perfect. It looks captain, enter, taking longer. There you go. Captain came in. So it's doing what it's supposed to. But I don't like that waiting. So let's do something about it. A pretty cool thing about the components is we can have like a loading state. So if we look for an overlay in my Beautify, we can have a loader. They do something like that, and after something disappear. So this is what I need. So I have my overlay, use that section, copy, and let's put it in my home. No, yes, in home. So after the container, my overlay is going to be there because my overlay is going to be on top of that, and it's going to depend we will to attach to the loading stage. So what is the loading stage? So we can have here, let's have the loading true, for example. That means that is going to be appearing. It's not going to disappear until our loading is false. So because this is what we need to have, let's actually having by default false, and the Marvel service, when we create it, we put this dot loading dot equals true. Actually no, let's leave it like this. Let's put here, when we are searching, the loading is true, and then when we finish search, we can say that after all this, we can say the loading equals false. What does mean? So that means we do a spider, enter, the loading, when it gets read after get the information, is deleted. If I search empty, it's doing that. So I do captain because that took longer. Now it doesn't, but so let's do X. Okay, it's getting loading. Perfect. Oh, look at that. We can still typing. That's something that we need to address. The cool thing about the text field, let's go to look for a text field. We can disable the text field. No, text field. There you go. There is a disable, I believe. Yes. And it's a true. So we can actually do, for text search, it's going to be disabled if we are loading. If loading is true, it's going to be disabled. If not, it's going to be enabled. So let's look for that. And we do a spider. Okay, let's do something extra. I don't know, Wolverine. We cannot type anymore. That's pretty cool. And the loading is getting that. Perfect. Now I want to change this part because I want to be dynamically, and whenever I look for somebody, I want this to disappear too. Let's handle that. So for that, let's do something really simple, and I will actually copy from my notes. Let me actually look for that here. So where we have the look for all the characters. Here, actually there. So let's add a search element. And we have search and search it. And we'll explain that in a minute. So that means when search is 0, that will show that. We need to call this after the fact. So we're going to be adding after the characters get set. When I'm looking for somebody else, I will change search. It's going to be the search parameter, and then my search parameter is going to be that one. But also, when I get everybody, that is my search parameter is going to still be empty. What does mean? Well, let's do a spider. Look at that. Showing spider results, and the spider get deleted from here. We do captain. This will change to captain and get deleted from here. Perfect. And what else? X, because I don't have imagination. Deadpool. Perfect. So it's showing what I need. So now I need to open it and show that specific character information in here. How we do that? Let's actually go to the home Let's copy our APK and Marble service, and let's import those to my character. So let's add the script tag. Let's put name. Let's put character details, and then before that, let's import the Marble service and my key. And then we have something really similar, where we pretty much copy the created, we paste it, of course with a comma, and my Marble service is going to get from my, it's going to change a little bit. Instead of getting from character directly, we're going to get it from character / the character ID, and this is not actually called, like, it's called ID, I believe. So if we go back to our route, our path is actually called ID. So in here we're going to, in here we're going to send it to character / the ID that we're sending, and we'll send the API key to. And this is going to be my character, going to be that result, and this, because it's an array, I want to send the first element. Pretty much. We say that it's okay, saving it. So let's actually start moving things here. So we need, of course, we need our bdata. So bdata, enter, construct the data element that will return something. So we have the character, and it's going to be an empty object for now, because it's going to be populated from here. And that means that the first thing that's going to be changed is going to be the image. So remember that crazy thing about the image path extension, we save it like that. So yeah, now it's loading that. So now let's get the name. So actually going to character.name. Perfect. Instead of doing this, we're doing character.description, and I get in this description because I already know those, but those actually came from my API. Okay, don't have a description, this one. Let's get another one with a description. Let's say right, this should have a description. Yeah, born with superhuman sense and power. Perfect. So this actually came in from my Marble developer. Go to my character ID. I have my name, my description. I got my thumbnail, the representation of the thumbnail, and I have my list of comics. That's pretty much what I needed now. So appear in these comics. And let's actually, you know what? Let's put a little bit bigger letter. So let me, let's do a class equal, let's say display 4, for example. Class equal, there you go. Perfect. And then there's going to be a class equal body one. You get a little more expanded. Just do like a headline. Class equal headline. Get a little bit bigger. It will say, where are you getting all those, Rodolfo? Well, it will look for text transforms. Actually, no, in typography, we see the different sections. Display 4, classes, display 3 to headline, title, subtitle, body 1, body 2, etc. So we're getting pretty much from here. And now, instead of doing this, so those will actually get those. I believe those look pretty good for now. So let's get the comics. And for that, let me just copy and paste something. And this is because I already know how the data is structured. So I have my character comics items. So you're getting the URI as the key, and then you're getting the comic name to be listed. So you save it like that. Show me the names. Perfect. Let's do some extra things, you know how I like to do those. Well, let's leave it like that. So I believe we are finished yet. So we go back, we see everybody. Let's do add-on warlock. Perfect. We look for X23 for example. We open it, when it shows with us. Perfect. And we look for I don't know, what else? Savior, okay, not showing anybody. Probably we need to handle this. We need to handle this somehow. So let's go back here. And let's actually, in my home directory, so for my row that show the characters, I'm going to be if show only is character dot length bigger than 0. If not, I will can have another row. I will have h1 with like class equal display 4, and we can put character not found. So it's going to be a BLs. So what does it mean? We're looking for somebody to exist. It show that. But something that doesn't exist, for example, behavior, we know that doesn't exist. It shows character not found. That's a way to actually handle. This is going to be shown only. Let me go back to the code because we have it in our BLs. This row is at the same line as this row, and this is only showing with my characters length is bigger than 0. That means that we have something. If my length is 0, that doesn't have anything, well, we're showing the character not found. And we can actually have a little more fun. So for example, I have already an image, so let me actually copy something from my not. So I have my Marvel Finder that I did it before. So I have my in my source directory. Oh my god! In my assets, I have my not found image, and I will save it in my source assets. So I just copy over my GIF, and what I can do is to show in this class character not found. We can do something. I'll leave it like that. Let's copy from my notes. And let's do something like 600 probably, or 400, 500. So let me run my server again, down serve. So I refresh it. Spoiler alert, it was there. So if I look for somebody, it's showing that. If I look for something that doesn't exist, can't something like this. Pretty cool, right? Well, I believe we have pretty much enough for now. So if I click enter again, show everybody, and we can continue looking for torch, for example, or Tony, Iron Man, Iron, really, there you go. So it's looking pretty good. Cool. So we are ready. Let me just close it. This Control C to get out. Let me just stage all my changes. Marvel Finder, finish it. So when I have all that, I will go to my GitHub. I will create a new repository. It will call Marvel Finder private. Create, and just copy this line, put it here, because I already committed everything. That's why I'm doing it. So I add that, then I push it. Excellent. So let me just refresh this. My code is there. Cool. I can copy this line and go into my server. So I have my tutor there, so I can do git clone my new Marvel Finder. Asking for my credentials, just put those. It's there, so I just copy, go to my Marvel Finder, and I do my yarn to install everything. I do now I build my files, yarn build it for production. So for the building, what it's actually doing is creating my CSS files needed and creating my JavaScript files needed. So what we saw the first week that we created our own element to manipulate the DOM, here Vue.js is going to take a notice what changes we did and we build that file for us. It's pretty much what it's doing. So this is already done. So I go to my distribution folder. So I just copy recursively everything from this folder and I will send it to my var w HTML. Boom, done. That means if I go to Rodolfo Roman site, I have my Marvel Finder application. It's not working, probably this that means that the API is not working. So let's actually cut time. We'll never go back with anything there. You go to inspect the element, you go to the console, let's go error, get great Marvel character P key blocked loading mixed active content. Oh, just because the HTTP. How can we fix that because the gateway is not secure. Ooh, I didn't make contours for that. So let me disable mixed content. There should be something here. Protection setting. No. Let's do something else. Marvel developers HTTPS. Can we do that? I don't know. Let's actually go to my Marvel service. Let's add that particular S to make it secure. Let's see if Marvel can handle that. So let me use John serve. We open the website. Localhost. Okay, it's loading. Let's see where it's actually coming. We go to the network tab and we refresh. Okay, you go to the gateway and it went through the HTTPS, so it's actually doing it. Excellent. So now that we find the fix, and in that particular S, I can stage it, then commit it, and go to secure API. So commit that because I already add the my GitHub. I can actually click here, say that I can actually synchronize my changes. I will click OK, or you can click OK, don't show again, and that's going to be just move it around. In pretty much what it's doing is pushing my information. So if I go back to my repository where I have it. Here, if I reload this, here you go, move to secure API. So you see my commit, everything I did, and the last one, when it just changed the URL from HTTP to HTTPS. Perfect. So I'm in the server, I'm going back one level, I just do a git pull in my Marvel Finder. So it's like getting the new information. Let me put my credentials. So that changed. That say okay, your Marvel service was changed. So it did not pull it everything, just pull in only the changes. And now I can build it again. We're supposed to like install dependencies, but because we already have installed it and we didn't change the dependencies, we just can rebuild pretty much. We will wait some seconds to actually the build to be finished, and then perfect. Go to the distribution folder, and I will click up arrow just to copy everything recursively to my HTML folder. That means if I go to all from one side now, everything's working. So we have our application up and running and actually fetching information for a database. So for this, what we will need is pretty much the same as before. Commit everything to GitHub, put it the repository there, need to be private, add me in the repository. You can change the colors, you can have something else you want, doesn't matter. You can change the name too, doesn't matter. But I just want the same functionality. You can actually change the quantity of columns that you want to have, that's fine. Add me in the repository, and then you need to publish to the website. Remember, going back to the developer portal and add your website in the list of the keys. So when you click get a key, let's hope that this time works. No, it doesn't. Developer, get a key. Developer, getting started, epic key. Just clicking the get a key. Well, you have the different URLs at the bottom. You pretty much need to add your site to the URLs. And that's it. Hope that you like this video. And any question, any doubt, don't hesitate to reach me. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.